It should be one of the ranged heroes, not me. When it comes to making a decision about who you're going to take out of the fight forever, or for the duration of the terror, like sometimes in DK you don't have a choice. There's whoever's nearby gets into it because that's. But in terror you always have a choice about who's going to back. It shouldn't be the tank because you want your tank available to zone for your squishy heroes. The terror can kind of be a tank in that sense with polymorph and just the threat of damage, but realistically, a real tank has better tools for it. It shouldn't be your support because you want healing so you can sustain a push for a longer period of time. Usually, in a properly drafted composition, a bruiser is the best option, but there's no bruiser here. It is triple ranged. And, okay, so it's not the tank or the support. The other three heroes are usually some kind of damage. Even a bruiser usually is technically some kind of damage. GB Naka, thank you for the follow. So the question is, who does the different damage? Li Ming has burst damage. Zagara has sustained damage. Lunara has sustained damage. Well, if I have a choice between burst, sustain, and sustain, shouldn't I put one of the sustained damage dealers in the terror so that I'm not giving up a entire role that I just will no longer have access to while she's in the terror? And it's a really simple dynamic. You look at your team comp and you'd be like, which hero is slightly redundant with another hero? If you have two supports, one of the supports can be considered to be a little bit redundant. If you have two warriors, and they're both like tanking warriors, like if you have Muradin and ETC, which sometimes happens, one of them should go in the terror, right? That's the very simple, especially pre-level 10, that's the entirety of the equation. You're looking at it, you'd be like, who's redundant in my team comp? Who does the exact same thing as someone else in my team comp? We'll put that person in there. So it should be Zagara or Lunara. Once you're post-10 and heroics are a factor, sometimes it's the person who has the longest cooldown heroic and they just used it. That's a critical, and they just used it. If their heroic is available, if you have 5 heroics that are all available, you go back to the who's redundant question, right? But if and Li Ming gets resets, right? So her heroic's always available. But if Zagara goes Maw, and Zagara just use Maw, put Zagara in the terror. So the choice between Zagara and Lunara, Lunara's heroic comes back up all the time. Zagara's has a long cooldown if she went Maw. If she went Nidus, the equation changes again because Zagara can strangle the map while the terror split pushes. So you should put Lunara in the terror, and Zagara and Nidus is around, and Li Ming, Malfuri, and Johanna help push with the terror because they can secure the terror secure the safety of the terror very effectively. Lunara with poke, Johanna with heal, and Malfurion with healing and mana sustain. Yeah, so chat, Osterman, what about ETC just use Mosh? If ETC just use Mosh, put ETC in the terror. It's 120-second cooldown. It will be up as it'll be up, as the terror dies, basically, if you get the maximum value out of the terror. It's perfect. But pre-10, the question is really simple, because heroics are not a factor. Post-10, you should factor in heroics.